What's up, YouTube? Um, Got another quick video. I'm trying to figure this out myself as I go, so I'm no expert in anything I'm about to explain. But since we got our slingshot, one of the main things they talked about was a maintainer on it or a trickle charger, and we got one immediately when we had an AGM battery. We switched to a lithium battery, a NOCO lithium battery. We got from AutoZone for $200 because I had a 5-year warranty on it. So we're learning as we go with a whole lot of things. We're no experts in any of this. We learn as we go. With that lithium battery, the maintainer we had, we need a new one. And people are trying to explain it to us. Sometimes you get people explain things and they just do. You're more confused when they get through than you are when you're trying to figure it out. But with the NOCO battery, we got a NOCO charger. It's called a Genius. They've got a 1, a 2, a 5. I think they've even got above that. But we spent the last week trying to tell the difference in 1, 2, 5, what we need, what we don't need. We found the NOCO Genius 2. It's a 2 amp, which is a slow charger for the maintainer. Well, slow charger. I'm seeing that slow charging is the way to go. You don't want anything to charge it real fast. That'll take away from the life of the battery. But we got it for a slingshot. It's really cold here in Mississippi. It's been cold for about a month now. We just got it a couple of days ago, the maintainer. So even though we got it for that, we want to try it on a couple of other things. My four-wheeler, for instance, my nephew's the only one who really rides it. He hasn't been over in a while, and he ain't crunk it, and it's dead. So this has the power, the capabilities of charging a completely dead battery. They say you put it on from my understanding, when you hook these up, hook it to your battery, it's supposed to go, it has 12 volt AGM, 12 volt lithium, and a 6 volt. In order for 6 volts, you have to hold the power button, the mode button down for 3 seconds, 5 seconds. And in order to make it do a force, they call it a force on a completely dead battery, what I'm gonna have to do with my four-wheeler, they say you hold the mode button down for 7 seconds. And once it gets there, then you put it on what you will need, which will be a 12 volt AGM for my four-wheeler. So we're going to do that a little later this evening and see if it gets my battery going back on my four-wheeler so I don't have to buy another one. But before we did our slingshot, on the maintainer is all we need. But my wife's Durango, I don't think she's had a battery on this since she bought it. Maybe she has. I don't know. But it started cranking funky about 2-3 weeks ago. Small little hesitation in the crank. And it did it for about a week. Then it stopped. Honestly, it's been cranking fine lately. But we still decided to try it. And when we hooked this up to it, it pretty much went to 100% right away. So the levels on it, that first light is 25%. Then it goes to 50. Then it goes to 75. Then it goes to 100. Once it gets on 100, that light will start blinking as it is now, if you can tell. Once even though it's on 100, it's finishing the last little 97, 98, 99%. Once it's completely full, that light will stop blinking and sit solid. Once it does that, I think these other 3 lights, the 25, 50, and 75%, will go away. Then it'll start blinking again to let you know it's maintaining. So we're still learning as we go, but I think we got that little bit. So we're going to get a truck a crank after a while. Make sure it's cranking strong. And if so, we will hook it up to my four-wheeler later on tonight. And after that, we'll get it on that slingshot, keep it maintained through this cold winter that's coming up. We're not going to be riding that sucker much until maybe March. It is supposed to get up to 60 degrees this weekend. It is like 2 weeks before Christmas now, a week and a half. By this weekend, which will be like 6 or 7 days, 6 days before Christmas, it's supposed to be 60 something. But for right now, it's in the 20s and 30s. It's supposed to get down to 17 tonight. So that thing definitely, even though it's still starting strong, battery strong, its battery's new. We've only had the battery about 4 or 5 months. It's still starting strong, but we want to keep it like that. So, okay, when we come out and crank the Durango, I'll be back. Make sure it cranks strong. But that's the NOCO Genius 2. If it does everything they say it does, I recommend it. They're not expensive at all. I think this was on the high end of $30-something, like $38, $39, something like that. But okay, be back when we crank it up. All right, my wife has, she went on to work today in her Durango. We left that charger sit on it over. Not long, because we went on and put it on my four-wheeler, because at least our truck was cranking. So we only set it on there for a few hours, not really long enough to see a big difference. It did crank, and it cranked fine, but I do want to put it on there and let it sit for the recommended 20, I think they said 12, 14 hours, up to 20 hours I saw in some places. So we're going to do that. But for the 3 or 4 hours we let it sit last night, it really did great. Crunked just fine this morning. So, okay, I'll move on to my four-wheeler and try that next.